So once again, it is gone, well, it's getting towards 1 o'clock now. It has been a long stream, this one. We're getting close towards the end, but I managed to grab Jason away from the busy crowds here out on the Paramo stand, and he's going to tell us about a couple of items that he's holding in his hand. So good afternoon to you now.
Good afternoon, how are we doing?
All right, has it been a good show for you so far?
Yeah, really good, really busy. Stand's been pretty much busy the whole show, so yeah, just we only do a couple of shows a year, so it's nice to get out and see the customers.
Get out the office, definitely. So these are new jackets, tell me.
Yeah, so these are relatively new jackets in our range. This one's the Hybrid Evolution, and the idea behind the jacket is it's a bit of a crossover piece, which gives a little bit more versatility to the piece. So it's a crossover between a smock and a jacket. So it can be used traditionally as a jacket by just opening up the one side zip. But you've actually got two zips around both sides, so you can use it as a smock or a jacket. But importantly, when you're actually using the garment, you can open up both sides and have loads more venting than you would traditionally have in a jacket or a smock.
So you've got rid of the pit zips then? You've changed the pit zips for these front zips, have you now?
Yeah, so we've still got pit zips, but the pit zips have been moved away from the pit of the arm.
From the rucksack?
Yeah, so reason being is that when most people are walking, obviously you've got your arms by your sides and you're actually covering the pit zips. So by moving these zips up the arm a little bit, you're actually improving the venting of the jacket. So the hot air will rise and you'll actually get more venting than you will if it's actually under the pit.
Right.
But what we've done down the sides is so that the jackets still have poppers in them on the inside. So you can actually popper these up and essentially have the whole garment completely open from both sides, and just use the poppers to stop the whole thing from flapping about. But what it means is that it allows so much more air into the garment, so if you are running hot, going up a hill, going up a mountain, on your bike, kind of those heavy activity uses, it's just able to get so much more air into the system and stop you getting too hot. So yeah, really interesting piece. It also traditionally it looks a little bit different to the traditional Paramo garment.
Right.
So we've found it's really kind of helped bring a younger audience to the brand as well.
Oh, great. So funky colours works then, does it?
Yeah. So we have a couple of styles with our newer styles, which kind of lend themselves more to colour. So they look a bit better with some nice colours on them, a bit brighter, a bit sort of. Yeah, a bit different
individual.
to the
individual.
Bit more individual.
I mean, what's the recommended base layer to wear with the Paramo smocks or Paramo generally?
So most people will find that they're going one layer down to what they normally would.
Yeah.
So if people are used to wearing a base layer, a light mid layer, and a jacket. With Paramo, most people find that they go down one layer, so it would just be a base layer and the jacket, or a sort of thin mid layer and the jacket. It's really only when you're getting down to quite low temperatures that most people find that they have to go mid-layer with the jacket. And the reason being, obviously, because it uses a different system to keep you dry. So it's essentially a two-layer system, whereas with a shell, it will normally be a laminate on an outer fabric.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've had the Velez smock. I've had the lightweight version and the traditional one. And I've always found it's warm for me, but unless I strip right down. And actually, in fact, one of the great things I think it goes across the entire Paramo range is how quiet they are. When you're walking in this sort of clothing, it's not making a noise, so it's ideal for country lovers, but bird watchers and that sort of thing, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of the jackets are used by bird watchers, cameramen, for exactly that reason. So you don't get the same rustle, that crisp packet rustle that you get from a membrane jacket, so that they're extremely quiet. They're absolutely bomb-proof. These garments will often last 15, 20 years. We have a recycling scheme which has been running for over 12 years, and we sell a lot of the used garments which come back to us as pre-loved. And you can put pins through them and they're still waterproof.
Well, that was something else I was going to mention to you. I mean, when it comes to lifespan of products, particularly technical products, once you've torn, unfortunately, one of those very expensive jackets, there's not an awful lot you can do with it, but you can stitch Paramo back up, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can do it yourself as well, but we have our own workshop in the UK.
Okay.
So if you do go for a tight tangle with a bramble bush, you get a bit of a rip in your jacket, you can send it back to Paramo, and they'll normally what they do, they give you a few different options. So you can have it a basic stitch just to cover the tear, or you can have a whole new panel. So literally you can get the garment looking like new again.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, and you got another item there to show us?
Yeah, so this item was a few years ago specifically to kind of cater for people who do run very hot, and for people kind of, you know, doing those high activity sort of users. So the jacket is based on a new type of perforated pump liner.
Okay, can you just tilt that towards the camera?
Yeah, so this is actually the pump liner, which is the part of the jacket which is keeping you dry, is completely perforated. So it allows that kind of air movement far better than the traditional jackets. So it's slightly lighter. We pair the jacket with lighter weight fabrics as well, so just in weight it's a little bit lighter, but in terms of breathability and kind of wearability, it runs a little cooler than our traditional jackets. So yeah, very much kind of with the idea just for those people that felt that Paramo was too warm during the summer, and again, when people on bikes and things like that, it's a lot of people felt that Paramo was just a bit too warm for them.
Sure. And what's the weight saving then with this compared to the traditional one?
It's not a huge amount. I don't know off the top of my head the exact figures, but I'm guessing you're probably looking at about 20-30% overall. Right. So that's sort of a combination between the lighter weight fabric and the lighter weight outer fabrics as well.
Okay, so as an example then, sort of prices on both these?
Price on both these, so these will 380 RRP.
Okay. 380.
And I believe these. So yeah, the Evolution Hybrid will 380 RRP, and the Velez jacket I believe is 320 at the moment RRP. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. And any more sort of future developments with Paramo happening over the next season, next 12 months, 18 months?
We've got some new limited edition colorways coming in a few of the products. We're just launching a new 4-way stretch free-season trekking trouser. So traditionally we've only ever, for quite a few years, we've only had the sort of heavier duty waterproof trousers. So one of the things we've been asked for a lot over the last few years is something lighter weight for more, summer, autumn, spring trekking, not just the kind of heavy duty waterproofs. So yeah, they're pretty exciting products.
Excellent, lovely. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been a busy day, and people have been coming and going while we've been talking. So I'm going to hand back to the studio now and head over to our next guest.